Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jersey and we are back with another Palworld build video, and we're gonna be building right there on top of the hill on this base that is kind of being on standby waiting for something new to happen in Palworld, and it finally happened. We're gonna be building with the brand new Japanese items, and we wanna make my main house in this base finally. You know, I've been playing around with the game. You guys seen the build videos, different houses, different ideas. But I was stuck. I needed something new, something that will inspire us to do even more in this game. And they finally gave us building materials, and I'm so excited. Okay, so for me, this house is gonna be elevated, so you don't have to do it like this, but it's gonna be elevated for me. But if you need to know, the size of the foundation itself is 7 wide and 5 deep, so 7 squares by 5 deep, and that's what you're seeing right here. I'm going 5 deep from the beginning of the stairs, and then that's gonna be my middle, so then I'm gonna go try to do the 7 wide on the sides over here. Now, I will say that this build had a lot of trial and error. This took me over 6 hours to build in real time. I tried to take out as much junk as I could because there was a lot of trial and error on this one. I was just playing around, and I did so much that it wasn't convenient just to take it all down and build it from scratch. It's like, because there was no way I was gonna do that, because it was gonna take forever and I probably wouldn't even come out the same. So what I'm gonna do is I took out as much as I can and gonna go over everything. So once I build the foundation, as you can see, I'm adding all these pillars. Now, a lot of those pillars will stay and eventually they will go away. Again, the roofing that I really wanted to do, it still did not work. We're still missing corner pieces, Palworld. But okay, so when we go inside here, as you can see, I'm gonna put 2 walls on one side, 2 walls on the other one, and then we're gonna put a little door. Now on the sides, we're gonna do wall, window, and then wall again, and we're gonna do it on the other side. And then in the front, we're gonna imitate just exactly what we did on the back. Now this is gonna be our inner room, and there's gonna be a second floor that we are gonna go. Now, at the end of this video, we're gonna do a walkthrough, but the inside, the decorations is not decorated. I'm gonna leave that up to you guys because I was burnt out. You know, I've been doing all this all day, all day. And the decoration inside, I think that's a very unique thing. So I'm gonna let all of you decide how you wanna decorate it. But okay, so what I wanted to do here, I wanted to extend this and use the roofing on the side, the new tile, because I thought it was gonna look really cool. Now, I'm hoping that one day maybe they give us those little triangles. I'm hoping that they come out like half the size of the height and a little more flat, because a lot of Japanese stuff is a little more flat and these are very inclined, and I'm hoping one day they actually give us more options again. I like that we got a new texture. I really love all the Japanese items, but we need that. But okay, so as you can see, I built the stairs leading us to the second floor, and then we're just gonna cover the floor once again with the roofing, and then I'm putting a corner piece of the triangle, and then 2 more 1 2 3 walls, and then we go triangle again, and then over here we are actually gonna do another type of roofing. Now, I really wanted to do, and I'm looking at this picture of Japanese houses, and I'm like, man, I really wanted to do this, but it did not work out the way I wanted. And I'm telling you what, even though we got all these new pieces, it's still a little bit hard to take away that flat look when it comes to the builds, right? Especially because I need, see how big the triangle. I wish those triangle pieces were halfway, a little more inclined, so everything looks a little more flat, you know, a little more flat. But you know, we're gonna work with what we have. So we did that on the one side, as you can see. Now we're doing on the other ones. I'm adding beams into the corner, that way it gives a little more structure, and then we're imitating what we did already in the back. We're doing it on the front, so we're using one of the little pieces. We're doing this little what you call it, the kind of this little room, and putting the window. But again, the problem is with this, it looks very flat to me, and I was like, man, it's just a whole wall of flat. And you know, and a lot of buildings are like that, but when you look at Japanese buildings, especially in the style that I'm trying to build, they don't look like that. And here's one of the first looks, and I was like, you know, there's a lot of white, and I just don't know. Everything was not clicking with me just yet. But I was like, you know, I'm gonna push on. We're gonna keep building this outer roof over here. So this is the outer roof. Now, there's gonna come different portions of this build that I feel like some of you may like what it is, and also ideas for future builds. So there were a couple points here when I was doing the editing. I was like, oh, that actually didn't look as bad. But you know, when you're building in the moment, everything looks awful, and you should always take a break. But I didn't took a break. I just kept building. But as you can see, I went around all the way around with the roof pieces, and I still did not like it. Now I'm testing the roof pieces on the side over here. Again, when you go to the side, you don't see it, and then the flatness of the white with the little triangles, it just makes it, everything just looks white in the front. That's not what I wanted. That's exactly not what I wanted. So what I'm trying to do here, this is one of those pieces that you see a lot of trial and error. I decided to leave this portrait in because I think it's important, because Palworld makes it difficult to build sometimes. You have to do a specific sequence so you can actually put things. If not, that doesn't work. You know, you can't just leave a roof piece and add the other piece. No, you gotta take the roof piece, take the other thing. Now you can add the triangle and then put the roof piece. So that's why I leave that. I leave those things like that so you can see that it can be done. It's just, you just gotta play around with it. But as you can see right over here, I'm still trying to work with here because I want to create some type of depth. You know, I want the house to feel like there's depth to it and corners, and it's not working. It's not working. But as you can see, I'm testing out the roofing on the side over here, and what if I extend a section on the top? And I was like, you know what, I don't know, so let's delete all that. Let's try it again. Let's put these pieces here. Let me see if I go sideways like this. But again, I went sideways and I just don't like the feel. And yeah, it's one of those things, you know, you work 2-3 hours, and I was like, man, I just feel like taking everything down. 3 hours into this build, and I was like, you know what, I just want to take it all out. Just take it down, start fresh. But you know, sometimes you just need to power through. And I say that because, you know, a lot of people write to me and they're like, I don't know how you do this, I don't know how you did it, it looks amazing. And I'm like, it's a struggle. You just gotta push right through into your vision, that and what you feel in your heart feels like, yes, this is correct, this is what I wanted. And that's why the whole time, every time I'm showing you the front of the building, I'm like, man, I just don't like it. Every single time we go to the front, and I'm gonna tell you when I finally feel like, ooh, I like where I'm going. But as you can see, I'm testing another style of roofing over here. So I'm looking pictures. I'm trying to take away this little flat of the roof, but it's still not working. And so I'm adding this extra roof over here. What happens if I cover over here? And then let's go far away. Do I like it? I'm like, nope, no, no, get away. I don't like this. Let's break all this down again. Oh my gosh. Just even watching this right now, I'm like, oh my gosh, I remember the stress, and like I was not into it. Okay, so over here, I added this first little corner piece. This is when finally something started clicking with me. I was like, okay, I think I'm liking a little bit of this, and especially the little square on the side and maybe part of this roof coming down. I was like, okay, well, let me go all around it again. This is finally when something a little bit started clicking, and I was like, okay, I like a piece of that, but I still don't like the front. The front was an issue for me. This front of the building where you're gonna stand, like what you see on the thumbnail, it wasn't impressive. And I was like, man, this just doesn't look good. It's not working. So again, I like what I'm doing on the sides now, but the front is still the struggle. So here we go again. We're gonna start taking things down, breaking things down, trying new thing, add it. And now what I'm doing is adding the roof pieces, because I was like, you know what? Let me take away the other roof that is flat, and let me add this one that I like that they did that. It has a little bit of height. Thank you, Palworld developers. We really need more roof pieces like that, not just one. You know, I know we have a wheel, but you know, expand the wheel. Expand the wheel, give us more pieces. But as you can see over here, I finally was getting something. And then when you were clipping the roof down into this other roof that it actually worked, I was like, I like what I'm seeing here. There's something here. So I decided to add these doors. Now, I love this door that it has this little roof. Now, I wish we also had the option of the same roof just with the window, but no, they didn't give that. So we're gonna pretend that this door are also windows, and you can leave them open, leave them closed, you know. But I think it's gonna be better than just keep using the little window or just the white one. So that's why. And once I started testing that out, I was like, you know what, that is taking away that flat look that we keep mentioning, because that was the struggle on this build. So I was like, okay, All right, so I like that. So how can I work it? Now over here, I struggle a lot because I was like, man, my goodness, I really want to add this, but I also want to keep the roof piece, but I also want to add the door. And I was like, how? And this is when Palworld gets me frustrated because you have to do everything in a specific sequence. As you can see, add this here, then you can add the roof piece over there. I gotta delete that roof, put that fake roof, then watch. Put the piece here, then you put the roof in there, and you can probably put the door, and then you can finally delete the roof underneath it. Now you can put the other roof that you want, so you can have that little triangle. That way it's not just flat, you have a little height. And man, just even explaining it is a lot of work. It's a lot of work just in explaining it. And I'm like, but I finally was getting into something. I'm like, okay, I like this. Okay, so what happened if I go in a square here and imagine that these are gonna be like fake balconies, because they're not real balconies, you know. And Palworld developers, if by any chance you happen to watch this, where are our fences that actually clip in, like they just attach automatically? Where are they? Why are you not giving us any type of fencing, wood fencing, anything? We only got one and it's not good. We need that. We need that, okay? All right. So you can see over here, I'm doing a little square over here. I'm like, okay, I'm liking this right here. What happens if I put the roof? And this is when I started scraping. Okay, let's not worry too much about the slanted roof. So you see me here trying it, just not going all the way to two down. I just wanted to go one down and then have the flat roof, because now we're gonna give it this little like kind of, I don't know, wave is the right word, I don't know, just little dimensions, right? Now we're thinking a little bit of dimensions. I'm like, okay, all right. But now the roof on the top, I still hate it. I still hate those white pieces. I just need it to be a little less, but it's not working. But now on the side, I'm like, I like the side. We're getting something in the front, and this is kind of one particular style of the building. Now, this is not my final one, right? We kept going and pushing what we could do, but after editing and looking at it, I'm like, you know what? That could have been a pretty okay build. And if you're watching this and you want to do like a Japanese village, this is already like one kind of a building that you could add into your Palworld and then add the final one. But don't you worry, I'm planning to build quite a few more of this style as well. I got a couple ideas that I'm inspired, but it's gonna take a little work. But as you can see, now the roofing looks a lot better. I'm like, okay, all right, okay. I like this. It's working great. I like what we're getting here. We got a little roof. We got this. Now we're gonna keep pushing this. And the idea came out that I like so much the little corners that I decided to do a tier full of that coming down. Now that was a little tricky because it made the build a little bit bigger, and throughout editing there is a version of the build that I just finished that could have worked out. I like my final resort, but I could have saved a lot of trouble if I would have just like, you know what, that looks pretty good, and then do the little decorations that I did on the outside. And I think that kind of form is gonna come very soon, so I'll try to point it out when I see it. But as you can see, we're doing this. We're working on the roofing. We're adding the pieces here, and as you can see, I'm working a lot in the front and on the side just to make sure that I like what I have, and then we do the final changes in the back or in the sides that we need to. So we're adding the roof here, and this is when I still say that we need corner roofing, because this build would look so much better if we actually had corner pieces, but we're making do. We're making do what we have. So we're gonna close it right here. The roofing, we got this stuff, and I'm trying to decide, okay, I like this, I like that. Let's duplicate what we did on the other side. So we're taking out all the side roofing and then adding those little corners, and I think this is when truly it's starting to like, okay, all right, I like it. Now as you can see, we have a full balcony around, and I think we're getting to that portion that the build could end right here. Now, when I was actually building it on the spot, you know how you are, you get a little frustrated, and you have a vision that you want to complete, and that's what I want to try to do. And again, maybe I should have taken a break, maybe I should have just stopped, but sometimes when you're in the groove and you only got so much time in the day that you can do this kind of stuff. But you see right here, this is kind of like a one style of the building that actually looks pretty good. I would have taken those two corners out, like in the actual out part of it, and kind of leave them a little more open. And I think this is actually a pretty good building right now. Like, keeping it like this. It looks pretty good. And I kind of like it, especially because we have that little flat roof that I just took out, because I really wanted to start working in this little like square way. And I mean, it's what you see on the thumbnail, and that was my vision the whole time. It wasn't working one way, so we had to actually make it a little more square than it needed to, but I think it came out really good. And that's what you see I'm doing right over here. Now, something that was different that I did on my own is just to take away a little bit and extend the front. We did the high roof with the pillars coming down. I think that helped a lot. But as you can see here, having that depth right here in the middle, I feel like it does help a lot. Again, it's all about creating dimensions and creating depth when you're building in all this building, especially since this is we love the game. We love building in the game, but they don't give us enough building pieces. So what I decided to do here is create a little section here in the middle. Now I'm going both ways, so I don't remember what portion in the video I decided that that's what I wanted to do, just keep that in the middle. But as you can see, this is when we're extending the high roof, and I really like this. To me, this was the game changer piece that I was like, yes, 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 this is it. This is what's working. I love this. And I was like, okay, this works great. Now, again, this high piece works if you have it elevated. If you have all of this down in the ground, you won't be able to do that little roofing entryway. But if you do it elevated like I did, then you can do it. But if you can't do it, don't worry, the rest of the building still is gonna look amazing. Okay, so what we're doing here now, we're cleaning the corners. I really wanted to make this a little more clean, and this is when I mentioned it earlier that I decided, okay, I need a tier, but we need one more in the bottom. There was something off, and I started looking at more pictures online, like, okay, I just need one more tier to make that tier effect of the different buildings coming down and elevated. And I was like, okay, I can make that happen. So that's what we're working on the side right here, and making those little extra squares right there. And guys, this is when we were grooving. I was happy finally. I was like, okay, all right, we got something, and it looks so different than anything we have done in Palworld. And I was like, this is fantastic. I'm like so happy. This brings me joy. Now, after looking at a couple more pictures, there was something little. Now, you don't have to do this part right here on the top. I wanted one more layer. Now, this layer on the top, we cannot go up here. You can't go up here or nothing. But I really wanted this extra elevated area. I just felt like it would give the final form and the final tier. And I was like, okay, but now there's something weird with all the windows and all the doors. Just everything looks very repetitive. So that's something that we're gonna change. We're gonna put some windows over here. That's when we create depth, and we're gonna add just a few more things just to make it feel a little different. Now, I was trying to work a little of this roofing idea, because I saw another picture. It's like, you know what, that is not bad, but I decided not to go with it. I'm gonna show you a little glimpse right over here. This is something that you may like if you're trying to do like a full-blown temple style, and I think this will work great. But for me, I think I need a little more height and maybe a little more space, because everything was gonna expand on the side, and I didn't have the room to do it properly. Like in the front looks really good, but then on the sides it looks very bare, and I didn't like it. Now, one of the reasons that I left it is because I actually thought it looked really good. So if for some reason you see this portion, you like, I like this a lot, and all I need to do is what you did on the front, just duplicate it on the sides and on the back, and you have the space, then make it happen. Take a picture, take a screenshot, tag me on it. I would love to see how yours came out. But as you can see, I was trying really hard, because I was like, okay, so what happened if I, instead of doing it like this, what if I kind of make it a little more, that way I have room on the side. And I spent so much time and trying to figure this part out that I decided, you know what, it's not meant to be. I truly don't have the space on this to even make it. I'm working so hard in the front, but then I had to duplicate this on the sides, and I was like, no, you know what, we're gonna take it off. But I do like the idea, and this is one of the reasons I left it in, because I really wanted you guys to see it and to see what is possible. And again, like right now, this is not bad. Now, one of the reasons I wanted to cover this side is because since mine is elevated, I don't like seeing all those beams over there, so we did cover that up, because you know, but it just, if you got it so pretty on the front with the white and all that, then I want that on the side. Again, I'm a very picky builder, so I like what I like, and that's what I try to do. Now this corner here, this is why we need corner pieces of the roofing. I didn't like this. I was not a fan, specifically because the way we got this building going on. So yeah, but I'm just leaving all this in. Once again, I want you guys to see it, to be inspired. Maybe you see something here that you like personally, and you're like, you know what, I kind of like that, I want to do that. But you see all this foundation, right? Because it's all elevated. Now the whole plan always was to hide that, and we're gonna do it, and you're gonna see how we did it with the stairs and all of that. And then we're gonna do all these trees in the front. All that was already in my head, that I really wanted to do that. That's how we're gonna do that effect, because all these pillars like this, if it was a solid foundation of wood or something like that, great. But and then I was trying to do the extension right here, because I wanted to test something out. What happened if I can put the white wall in the back? But for some reason, it won't let me do it. It just won't clip in like we did over there, but it won't let me do it on the other side. And I don't know why. I don't know if I couldn't do it because I have the style of the rupees on the top or not, or I had no idea. But as you can see, this is what I was trying to do on the side, and I realized, I'm like, this is going to be a lot of space. Like I already took out part of the stairs that we have for the other house, just to try to accommodate this, and it was not gonna work. Because if you see the roof pieces, right, with the roof piece that comes out in the front, I want to do it right here. You see how much I have to extend on the side, and this is why, like I was saying, it's gonna look cool if you have the space. And here's a portion of it, so you guys can kind of be inspired, just in case you want to go all the way in on this idea. But it can work. You can make it happen. I believe in you if you truly want this big piece in here. But as you can see, I was still trying over here. I kind of almost had it. It was too tight. And again, I didn't have all the right thing in the front. I was gonna have to kind of redo the size. So I was like, you know what? It's just no. So let's go ahead and scrap it. I'm already looking at the other side, and I was like, man, we're gonna have to push this all the way out, and I can't even expand it as deep anymore because of the hill. And I was like, oh no. So again, also, if you want to expand the side, make sure that you have enough space, and maybe build in a little flat area. Maybe that will work really well for you. But here we go. We're gonna take it all out. It's not, but I hope that what you saw there, you kind of get an idea if that is a direction that you personally would like to go on this build. I think it is totally worth it. I think one day I may actually be doing that myself and trying to work on that and trying to expand on that idea. Maybe we'll build one of the biggest temple that we can, and try to figure out a cool way to do it. Maybe we'll start off in a high portion on the mountain, so it looks even higher, and work our way down. The possibilities are pretty cool when you think about it. It's just trying to get that first idea to work. Now over here, I'm trying to kind of rebuild what I had before, and I think I struggle a little bit trying to remember how I had it at first before I was trying to expand on the side. So as you can see right here, I'm really trying to remember how to do it. Oh my gosh. Maybe this portion I could have edited now that I think about it, because there was no point on showing a lot of this right here. But okay, but here we go. We are trying to expand the roofing over here, trying to do the thing. We're adding a little bit of the pillars, trying to bring everything back to form and where we had it. Doing a little extra white over here. I think right now, if I remember right, I was trying to figure out what if I did stone to look like a foundation, and I think also could look cool. But again, I'm running to the same problem, that is, I can't go all the way around, and for some reason, even if I put foundation in the bottom, it won't let me clip putting the wall, the stone wall, the way I want it. So anyway, all of this is trying to figure out if there is a way that I can still do it. But you know, if every watching it, I'm like, okay, all right, I think I'm seeing so many ideas that for future builds, I'm like, okay, we can work on that and we can work on this. And I saw how I did that. But finally, I went back and finally put in the right roof piece. As you can see, the flat one once again, because we gotta do that balcony going kind of all the way around once again, so we can do the walkway and add the trees that I want, that we're using like the actual trees that people, the pals are harvesting. But yeah, but we do it as more of a decoration item. I think it's a really great trick since we can plant our own trees. Yeah, Palworld developers, where are the trees that we can plant? It's so important. Okay, now the back of the building, since I'm against the hill, right here, I can't really do what I did on the sides and what I did on the front. Plus, I didn't want the back to look just like the front. So on the back, we're gonna keep the flat roof going on over here. I think it gives it a little bit different. So the sides and the sides are the same, and the front is different, and the back is gonna be different. Now that's gonna be up to you. You can duplicate the back to look just like the sides if you want it, but I can't do that anymore because the way where I'm building with the hill, I can't expand that way anymore. So in a way it works out for me because I kind of like how it kind of does look different. So I think that is a good sign right there. So as you can see, now we finished one side over here. We got our walkway, adding a couple pillars over here. I think at first I was gonna like do this roofing, but then I took it out. I was like, no, it's just, again, I'm gonna be expanding on something that I don't have room for. Again, I'm still trying to do the slanted roof in the front, but it just doesn't work. But over here, as you can see, now I'm creating a little bit of depth right over here. I kind of like this. I really wanted to try to take away a little bit of that front and kind of do that little escalation kind of system, and looks a little deep in there. So that's what you're seeing over here. And then again, I really like this little roofing pieces, so I'm kind of doing it in the front. Plus it has the little lamps that I really love, because you don't have to actually have the electric power to have them on. So thank you, developers. You should do that more often. And I think it looks really great. Now over here, I was doing a little test, as you can see, just in case if I could, the slanted roof, and it's not bad if you look at it, but it's not the look that I want. Now if you're building a little temple, a little pagoda, then this idea can work really well, but that's not what I want. I want this to actually look more like a home than a little temple, but it kind of like in that bridge in between that era in Japanese, when they had like these mansions, but they were very square with slanted roofs. That's kind of the look that I'm going for. So I'm taking that out. I'm testing here just in the middle to see if it gives us something different. And again, this is when it all comes down to trial and error when you playing this type of games, builder games, with not having as many pieces as we have. So you just gotta keep trying, and every time you have an idea, that's why it took me 6 hours to build this. But it's good to try those ideas, because even later on, you remember what you tried for another build and it may work for you. Now, something over here, I was trying to go all the way to the 3. So you're gonna see it, we're gonna build all 3. But at the end, what I decided to do is just keep the one just in the middle. So, but right now it's gonna be the 3. If you like this look, you can keep it with the 3. I think it's really neat as well. But I decided not to go like this, and I decided to create again from the front, just one more push towards the back. And I think that's all it comes down to. To me, the biggest part of this building that was basing my whole build is the front. The front was the most important part for me, to make sure that it looked good, so I can actually then go all the way around. And that's why the first part of this video, it was that little struggle, working very hard, trying to get the front right. Because if you get the front right, then you're inspired, and then you can work all the way around. So always find that one thing that you're trying to do in your build that will really push you and inspire. But as you can see right here, so what I decided is now to go all in on this particular one. So I tried it one more time, and you can see the difference. I didn't like it if I didn't have something in the top now, because I really like it. So what I'm doing over here is taking all this down, and we're gonna bring it down to one level. Instead of having it so much high, and we're gonna keep this centerpiece right here in the middle, and I'm going all in with the little roofing, so it looks like the roofing is attaching because of this door. Again, I hope they give us the same piece in a window. I doubt it because it takes forever for them, and maybe they'll be building on something different for us to use eventually. But as you can see, there we go, and we created kind of like another little floor up here that I think this worked out really great, and it's more in the middle, in the center. Now you can go the other way like I did with a tree on the top, and it's a little bit higher, but I decided just to bring it down and just kind of work on this tier system over here. Now, one of the reasons also that I did this is because this tier on the top that I'm working on and the bottom were kind of equal in both sides, and I thought that was a little off, so I was like, you know what, and look at this, and now it looks like we got this depth, we got this tier system, it looks like we got deeper rooms over there, and then now I'm working in the middle again here, adding this little fake balcony. I almost thought that I may want to do this, what I did here, on all sides, especially on the two sides, maybe on the back. I don't know if in the back I may do that eventually, so I haven't decided. I think I was kind of a little burnout, and I decided, you know what, it looks good right now on the sides, but sometimes when I look at it, even right now when I'm editing, I'm like, you know what, maybe I need to do it just that way it looks again different, but maybe I want the front to look different than from the side. So it's gonna be one of those things that I may try off camera, and if I like it, I like it. So now over here, as you can see, I'm adding right here the trees that the pals use to, you know, for logging for your, and because I wanted to create this little tree feel forest, since we don't have plants to plant, we don't have trees to plant, we only got one thing of flowers, and they're not even that great because it's awful. You have to have a super flat surface to make it work. So what I did is where I added this stuff right there, then where we had the walkway on the top, right, the little walkway, I went ahead and added pillars, and then after the pillars I added the wall will clip in. I'm happy that I kind of did that, and then all around it on all the Y I'm adding vines, so it kind of matches in with the trees and kind of gives you this beautiful illusion. Now I'm finishing this section over here because I haven't done it just yet, so as you can see, and then we're gonna add more vines, and then we're gonna duplicate what we did on one side, we're gonna duplicate it on the other one. I went and fast forward that one, but now we got all the trees on one side, trees over here, and then guys, here it is, finally the final result after all that struggle, all that building, I can't believe you made it. If you made it to the end of this video, I'm very proud of you. Thank you so much for listening, thank you so much for the support as well. And I hope that you truly like this build, and I hope that it really inspire you to push and what can be possible in Palworld still. And also, let's all encourage the developers to give us more. I really love how it looks from the side over here. All those little tiers, you see the roofing, you see the corners, really like that. I went ahead and added a few decorations over here. So we got some stone lands, we got some benches over there, creating like a little fake fence for now. This is why we need real fencing, because we need it. Now, I gotta do something in the back. This is not completely done when it comes to the decoration department. I just want to make sure that the front kind of was decorated, so you guys can get a good idea of what you guys can do, especially if you're working in different ways. But I really love doing the little trees like this, because I don't know, it just gives us something, and it makes it like we got more trees happening in here. And as you can see, I love the view from down here, just the high roof setting. It just feels great to me. That was the point. Again, that was the point to me that really saved the build to me. So on the side over here, we got the stairs. Again, the stairs are hiding the little foundation because it doesn't look good. Now over here, I noticed that I need to change the door. I need to add a door in the bottom or do something different. I got two of the same thing. It doesn't look good, like especially in the middle. So I'm gonna be changed that as soon as I finished it, because I didn't notice that I had that. So because we want to alternate the sequence here. Now on the back, again, like I mentioned, it's gonna be a little different. I think I may add maybe windows in the bottom now, because we got doors, but I think I may add a little window instead of keeping it all there, like the actual window tile one. So I may change that again. This is when it's great now that you finish, you take a sit back and then you look at your build like this. Now, something that I did here, I actually opened the door, so it makes it feel more like door frames. I really like the feel of that. It just makes it feel like door frame instead of sliding doors. It just looks like you just have an opening, so that is a really good thing. I'm gonna try some things like that in the top because maybe I want that to make it look more like doorways instead of actual sliding doors that you will have to open. It's just depending. It's gonna be up to you if you like that look or not. Over here is gonna be our future bedroom right there, so we're gonna do a lot of the Japanese decorations in here. We got the back door over there, and then this is the staircase that's gonna lead up to the second building. Now, I didn't do the third floor because the third floor was never in the plan. I can always add a ladder if I want to use the third floor, but I'm not thinking about that. Over here, I may put some benches to make it feel a little more like a balcony. Now, from over here, we can also see how the base is turning out. I can't wait to tweak all of this now because I want all of this to be that aesthetic of what we did over here, and the houses in the back and in the background that we have done, that you guys love those videos. Thank you so much for seeing those videos as well. So yeah, so I want this whole base to have this feel and this theme. So we're gonna work really hard on do that, except for the big Parthenon. The Parthenon is gonna stay. I actually planning to bring that a little bit forward. I need that to be a little bit inside the circle because I want to do something special. But yeah, guys, this is the building. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe if you want to see more videos, and I'll see you all on the next one. All right, guys, see you later. Bye.